The quality of both of these is pretty insane, but with so many other issues, which one is truly best? I've decided to put two incredibly similar print-on-demand companies head to head. I want to test every aspect of these companies to see which one is worth your time. A quick thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. More on them later. This has been one of the hardest print-on-demand company tests or reviews that I've ever done, and that's because both companies have their strengths, but both companies also have some insane weaknesses that can't just be looked over. We're going to split this test into 9 categories. Each category will get the company 1 point, and at the end we'll see which one came out on top. Plus, I'm going to add some personal thoughts after having used both of these companies for an incredibly long time. I think that counts for something. The companies in question are Spreadshop and Spring, formerly known as Teespring. I have ordered the exact same design on each company's cheapest white t-shirts. That way we can also see who's got better print and better garment quality. Let's start with product cost. And I just have to quickly add, because this is a review at the end of the day, finding the item costs on Spreadshop was one of the most difficult things that I ever had to do. I mean, that sounds a bit crazy. I have done harder things, I promise. But it was just stupidly difficult to navigate and try and find how much these items cost. And I ended up having just to download an Excel spreadsheet with all the item prices because it wasn't displayed on their actual platform. Either way, here are the prices. You have t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, and sweaters. The only one there which really threw me off was Spring's sticker. I mean, who in their right mind is spending $4.50 on a base price sticker? Because you've got to earn some profit on top of that. So let's say you want $1 or $2 profit. You really think people are going to spend $6.50 on a sticker? I don't think so. What is interesting though, is it seems that Spring does have the edge on all the other items. Even if it's just by a few cents, they still are cheaper. On a side note, I have to add, both of these prices are absolutely ludicrous. There is no reason why a standard t-shirt should be over $15, especially when they're buying them in bulk, probably for less than $3 an item. Look, I know they have other costs as well, but still, going from $1 to $3 for a base price item and then them charging $15 or more than $15, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. The point here goes to Spring because all in all, they were cheaper, even if it was only by 59 cents. Later on in the video, we're going to see if Spreadshop's quality is 59 cents more than Spring's quality. The next important factor of this test is website ease of use. I'm talking here about the seller, like me and you, not the person actually shopping. It's straightforward on both. However, Spreadshop is a little neater, and that's pretty much because it has less options. Spring is pretty clean and modern looking. However, it's quite confusing as there are far too many options that one would need for a simple print-on-demand website. Personally, I actually like the look of Spring. However, they keep changing their minds. They keep changing their layout and look and everything. And what's even crazier is when I first decided to make this video, it looked like one thing. And now when I'm shooting this video and going through the website, it looks totally different. And it hasn't even been a month. Now it's actually really hard to navigate, and there's stupid extras all over the place, and it just seems ridiculous. With Spreadshop, it's not the prettiest, but it is quite practical, and it's consistent, and that's what I like. I like consistency. The Spreadshop website has stayed the same for absolutely ages, or as far as I can remember anyways, and since I've started using it, it's always been this way. So I've learned how to use it, and now I could pretty much use it with my eyes closed because everything is in the same place. Whereas with Spring, because it's constantly changing, I just feel lost. For that reason, I'm giving the point here to Spreadshop because you just can't beat consistency. It's currently 1-1, but honestly, we haven't even touched the surface yet, so it's still anyone's game here. But before we go on to the next category, I want to tell you something that I've made for everyone. All of these videos on YouTube are great, but personally, I love watching structured content in a class format where I can speak to the person making the course. I can leave comments, I can post projects, I can get involved. That's what I like doing. And that's where Skillshare comes into it, because with Skillshare, you can take tons of classes. And I've personally created 2 classes for Skillshare. One is my print on demand class, which is like a big overview of print on demand. And then the other one is this brand new class, which I've just brought out in the last couple of weeks, which is all about marketing and driving insane sales to your business, specifically print on demand. The way I talk about doing this is through social media, and I can tell you it's a really, really cool course, so you should definitely check it out. The best thing here is you can take both of my classes, and not just mine, but thousands and thousands of other classes completely for free. The link down below will get you 1 month free, or will get the first 1,000 people 1 month free, where you can take as much as you want in that month. Then after the month, you can do whatever you want. So during that month, don't just look at my 2 courses. Take courses in so many different topics. I've personally taken courses in graphic design, in character design, in t-shirt design, in Photoshop, in Illustrator, in Figma. I absolutely love taking courses. And when I'm eating or when I'm in bed before I go to sleep, I'm either reading or I'm watching a course, because it's the best time to learn and you should always constantly be learning. So anything you want, just put it in the search bar and you'll see tons of results. You can learn literally anything you want. So click the link down below to get access to 1 month free on Skillshare. For now, let's get back to this epic battle between Spreadshop and Spring. Customer service is up next. And even though I kind of don't ever want to need customer service, it's always good to know that it's there, they care, they're good, and they're actually going to help you when you need to be helped. Spring's customer service is pretty much non-existent, especially if you are having a serious issue. If it's a small issue, they're kind of okay. They do respond and they can help. But as soon as that issue escalates, they just start ghosting you. It's as if they don't know how to answer. And instead of responding saying, I don't know, let me look into it, they just don't respond. They completely ignore you. Now, with Spreadshop, I haven't actually had to engage their customer service team that much. And that's actually a good thing. It's because I haven't really ran into any problems with Spreadshop. The win here is going to go to Spreadshop solely on the fact that I didn't need to use the customer service that much. And with Spring, it was really frequent, and no one wants that. The next category is integrated marketplaces. Neither actually have an integrated marketplace. However, Spring does claim they've got their marketplace with all their designs, but it's such rubbish. They do not have it. They used to have one, but since their whole new rebrand and their change and everything, you can't actually find their marketplace on their website. You have to go to a specific website to actually find it and then actually go through and buy stuff. And it's completely convoluted. It makes no sense and it's silly. So I'm not counting that as a marketplace. And with Spreadshop, well, they have Spreadshirt, which is the marketplace version of Spreadshop. So it's slightly different. However, because it is a separate business, even though it's still print on demand, I'm not going to include this. So neither of them have a marketplace. What you have to do is build your own platform on Spreadshop or Spring. So build your own website. Once you've built your own website, you will send your own traffic and then get sales. They'll still print and ship and do that and send it to the customer and all that kind of stuff. However, picking a winner for this category was really hard because both have some serious drawbacks. Spreadshop's website builder feels a lot more like a real website rather than just this pop-up shop. So that's really good. However, the massive drawback is the custom domain. So let's say you want your shop to be called thebesttshirts.com or whatever, right? In order to add a custom domain, it's really complicated, like really hard. And chances are you're probably not going to even bother attempting it because it's just not simple. It's not straightforward. With Spring, you can add a custom domain very easily. However, the drawback there is it costs. Now, the reason why that's annoying is because it used to be free. And if you're paying for a domain name on GoDaddy or 123reg or Google Domains or something, why should you have to pay extra to Spring as well just to connect them? It seems stupid, and I can't think of another platform ever that I've dealt with where they charge you for connecting a domain that you've paid for on their platform. It's so stupid. Now, I have to make this test fair, and being brutally honest, I massively dislike both options here. I really, really do. It's annoying, and if we threw Shopify into the mix, then it would be a different story, but this is a review for just Spreadshop and Spring. So for this category, neither are going to get a point because neither of them deserve a point. Now, the next category, products they offer. In terms of products they offer, well, both have over 180 products. Spring says they have 180 plus, and Spreadshop have 181. So we're just going to say they both have about the same. In terms of quality of those products, well, we're going to get to that in a minute. But for this category, they're both going to get a point because they're pretty much the same. Next is shipping cost and shipping time. Now that one aggravated me the most. Out of everything here, you're going to hear why. I did this based on standard shipping to the US. Spreadshop was $10.99 and Teespring was $4.99. So quite a drastic difference. But what's even worse is the shipping time. Spring to the USA with standard shipping is 7 to 10 days. Not the best, but doable. Spreadshop shipping is 15 to 22 days. And remember, Spreadshop was $10.99. I'm absolutely gutted at how bad that is, mainly because I was really liking this platform, and I do like this platform, and it ticks so many boxes. But I mean, it really aggravates me that they make sure to tick everything, but it's kind of like they get to the end and they're like, oh, shipping? Yeah, we'll forget about shipping. Because shipping is so important. Both companies are poor with shipping because even 7 to 10 days is just not good enough these days. But Spreadshop really disappoints. The point here definitely has to go to Spring, even though 7 to 10 days is shocking. And I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to shipping. I'll always pay that extra bit of money to get it next day delivery if I can. I just don't like waiting. But with this kind of stuff, yeah, you've got to expect some sort of delay for the item to be printed and shipped, and sometimes it's coming from another part of the world. But still, 3 to 5 days should be standard. Only 2 categories left, but these 2 are the most important, so don't go anywhere. They'll be the decision makers for this challenge. So let's start with the quality of the print, which I've got both here, and the quality of the garment. Now, I just want to share with you, I have owned this one for a little bit longer, so it's been in the wash a fair few more times than the Spring one. However, they've both been in the wash a handful of times. They've both been dried. They've both been through regular use, just wearing a regular t-shirt. And, well, it's quite interesting, actually, because I don't think you're going to expect this. So let's start with the print quality. This is Spreadshop. Let's have a look at it closely. Now, you can see it's definitely faded, right? And that's normal. And actually, what I find is with high street kind of clothing, like from H&M, Zara, River Island, Gap, any of these companies, the design tends to fade over time, but it never comes off. It just fades. And the faded look is actually really nice. I like the faded look. I think it looks cool, right? So this has that faded look. So that ticks a box in my mind because the design, if you can see, I'm pulling it apart and it's not going to come off. It's not scraping off. There are elements like in this section in the top left where you think, oh, the design's coming off, or next to it over here, you think the design's coming off, but it's not. It's just part of the design. You'll see it's exactly the same on the Spring one. But in terms of quality of Spreadshop, I am absolutely blown away. The colors aren't too bright. They're a nice kind of muted, and they're actually very, very similar to what is on display. Now, with the Spring one, we can see it's a lot more vibrant. The colors are a lot brighter. Like if we compare the yellows and the blues, you can immediately see the Spring one is bright yellow. The blue is bright blue. Now, it could be because this hasn't been through as many washes. I haven't worn it as much. I haven't owned it for as long. But still, it's very bright, and you can see the exact same fade in the top left corner. So this is part of the design. What I'm noticing is the design feels a lot more print on demandy. It feels a lot more sticky and hard, and not really like high street level. Like if I'm holding this t-shirt and just like doing this, it feels thick and not soft, thick and hard. This one is just nice and soft. It genuinely feels like a nice t-shirt like this one that I'm wearing right now. And I think that makes a massive, massive difference. So in terms of the actual print quality, I'm going to say Spreadshop is better. Even though it's faded and even though it isn't like as vibrant in terms of colors, I think it looks more real. Now let's just talk about the garment quality, because this is where it gets interesting. I don't think you'd expect this. So Spreadshop's garment quality is brilliant. It's great. You know, the t-shirt is soft. It's not too thick. It's not too thin. The threads are really good. It's holding together, and it's actually a premium tee. This was the cheapest one I could find, and it's definitely premium quality. You know, the shape has held throughout many, many washes. It hasn't skewed. Sometimes it kind of cuts across, and it just goes a weird shape. So that's good. I like that. Now, with the spring one, the t-shirt is a lot thicker. It's a lot thicker. It's a lot warmer. It's a lot harder and not as like soft. So there's that. However, the stitching is perfect. Everything else is perfect, except for one thing. One major thing. It shrunk. This is the t-shirt. Okay, now you can't really see this on camera, so I'll show it to you with B-roll, but it's shrunk drastically to the point where it wouldn't even be a crop top on me. The spring one has completely lost solely based on the fact that it's shrunk. If something shrinks, that's it. It's over. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter how good the quality of the print is, it's shrunk. That's a real shame because it had potential, but it shrunk. And obviously, as soon as something shrinks, you send it back, you get your money back, and that's the end of that. So you would lose a lot of money if you actually sold spring stuff and you ended up getting a lot of refunds. So the point here is 100% going to go to Spreadshop. I don't know what it is, but for me, I just love the quality of it. I just think it's great. Despite, you know, the bad shipping and the annoying custom domain, the quality keeps coming back to me and keeps making me think, this is a really good platform. But the final category, and this category is going to be the personal experience category. After having used both of these companies for an incredibly long time, I thought my own personal experience should count for something. I used to love Spring. Like, I really, really enjoyed the platform. I used it a lot. I made a boatload of money, a ton of money using Spring as a platform. But then it changed. They rebranded to Spring from Teespring. They got bought out by Amaze. They constantly changed their platform. They changed their messaging. They changed their audience they were going for. They just changed everything. They screwed a lot of people over. And personally, it's just gotten terrible. I mean, some crazy stories of people getting banned when they've still got a bunch of money in their account and they're not being paid out. That money is going to Spring. They're not giving the money to these creators. That alone scares the hell out of me because I would never want my money tied up with one of these companies. With Spreadshop, I've actually had a really good time. Despite the annoyances that I've spoken about in this video, Spreadshop as a platform has been decent. It's been pretty decent, and it's definitely been better than Spring. The prices are annoyingly steep, but the quality is excellent. And I know anyone that buys one of my products for, let's say, $25, a t-shirt for $25, which isn't crazy, I'm still making a good $7 to $10, but I know that I'm going to have a happy customer, providing it can get to them quickly. The shipping thing is just annoying, but let's just go past that for a second. I know my customer will be happy with the item they receive, and that's what's important at the end of the day. Now, I know I said I'm a bit sport when it comes to shipping, and that's what's making the conclusion of this review so insanely hard, because on one hand, I'm finding it hard to recommend Spreadshop because of the shipping issue, but on the other hand, I simply cannot recommend Spring. So my personal experience point is going to be going to Spreadshop. However, I do think Shopify needs to be thrown into the mix here. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like me to add Shopify to this review and see if that one comes out on top. Shopify would literally just be a website builder, and then it would connect to a printing platform like Gelato or Printful or Printify or many others. But if I had to pick between the two, the winner is going to be Spreadshop based on a few factors like reliability, product quality, and consistency of the platform. However, if other platforms were in the mix, maybe it would be different. Who knows? I guess we'll have to find out. Now, these platforms are one thing where you've got to build your own website and send your own traffic. But if you want to use a platform that gets you tons of free organic traffic because they have marketplaces, you've got to check this video out next, where I go over a whole bunch of different platforms and share with you which ones actually get you the most traffic. And don't forget to click the link down below and try out Skillshare when it's free. You want to get your free month and you want to take as many classes as you can. So click that link down below.